house. Her parents died when she was little. One day, while she was sitting in her house, she heard a knock on the door. She went out to see who it was. When she opened the door, she saw a tall man with a letter and asked her some address. She led him the way and he thanked her and she returned home. Julie had a beautiful garden. Whenever she felt lonely, she would go there and enjoy herself. But one day, she felt so upset and wished to go out, but she couldn't leave her room. She was on her couch, sitting very sadly. She always wanted someone to be with her. She always wanted someone to love her. That night, she fell asleep very sadly. Julie used to go for fishing every Sunday. She loved Sundays other than anything. One Sunday, she went out for fishing as usual. She came near the river and spent much time looking on the trees and birds. She enjoyed the chirping of the birds. Suddenly, she heard a baby crying sound from somewhere around. Then she stood up from the ground and followed that sound. She saw a beautiful box with a letter on it. When she touched that box, she heard that sound again. Then she gently carried that box to home. When she reached home, she opened the box and saw a beautiful baby boy who had a very shining amber eyes. Julie fell in love with the baby when she first saw him. When the baby looked at her, her eyes were shining like his. He stopped crying when she took him out of the box. She then put him back and saw the letter and took and read it. It said, "Please take care of this baby." She was shocked to see this note and took him in her arms and put him on her shoulder gently. She felt like a mother and loved him very much. She sang a little song for him. He smiled as he fell asleep, and she named him Jade. Every day, Julie took good care of Jade like her own son. Many days passed. Since Julie hadn't left home for a long time, she decided to go for fishing with Jade. While they were going, Julie's neighbors asked whose baby was that and why she was carrying it with her. She told them that the baby was her own baby and left the place. When she reached the river, she wondered what would her neighbors think of Jade. While she was in a deep thought, Jade looked at her and smiled. Now all her worries were gone away by his glance, and she tickled him. In the evening, they left the place and went back to home. That night, Julie had a nightmare, so she woke up screaming. Hearing the sound, Jade woke up and cried. Then she stroked his hair and he fell asleep. Julie was thinking of that dream. She murmured and said, No, never, it won't happen," and went back to sleep. Next morning, she got up from the bed silently to not wake up Jade. Suddenly, she remembered the dreadful dream she saw last night. In her dream, she saw her sick and lying on the bed and was ready to die, leaving Jade as an orphan. Julie was very upset. She couldn't think of anything except this the whole day. Many days passed quietly. On Sunday, Julie went out for fishing with Jade. While she was fishing, she heard someone screaming. She picked Jade up and hurried following the screaming. If you guys are very curious to know what happened next in Julie's life, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in part 2.